What's up, guys? Mike here from Mike's Monster Gaming, and welcome to the Nintendo Bitcast. We are a group of people that do an awesome podcast every single month, talking about different Nintendo topics. We have a few people here today. We have MandyleePlays.
Hello.
We got Shifty Station.
How you doing?
And we have a really good special guest this month as well, a very good friend of mine. We have MasonOfDelfino joining us this month as well.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So yeah, this month's topic is pretty much E3 speculation and what we are hoping to see from Nintendo's conference, and pretty much just like hopes and thoughts of what we want to see out of E3's conference. So Shifty, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, yeah, sure. So, really quick, I just wanted to make sure Shifty Station is my Twitch, but I am Shifty on YouTube, just to make it clear. But I just thought, like, since we do this on a monthly basis, that by the time the next Bitcast happens, E3 would have happened already. So it just makes sense to just do E3 speculation,
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, really quick, I think we should start off with what are we expecting? Not necessarily what do we want, but what is like our realistic expectations for Nintendo's E3?
I think Smash Bros. Is a big thing. It's obviously pretty much guaranteed.
Right, yeah. It's pretty much the only thing that I, at least to my knowledge, is the only thing actually confirmed to be there.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be great. Like, whatever, but because of Smash, so that's good.
Right, yeah. I also think I expect a full reveal for Fire Emblem, since it's still slated for this year, even though we haven't seen anything of it.
Yes.
I forgot that was actually a thing too, because wasn't Fire Emblem announced like months ago?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it was somewhere in February. They had a Fire Emblem Direct, and they announced a bunch of stuff, but the Switch Fire Emblem game, we just know it exists, and that's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to at least see a trailer at E3 for that. But honestly, just with Smash Bros. Alone, we already know that Nintendo is going to have a killer E3 just with that by itself. Not to mention all the other titles that we learned about at last year's E3 as well.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it's not even just Fire Emblem that we don't know much about. We also don't know about when Yoshi's coming out.
Honestly, that is one game I'm actually really looking forward to hopefully hearing more about.
I'm kind of surprised at how it just disappeared. I felt like it was one of those games they were going to focus on throughout the Nintendo Directs and stuff, but we haven't heard anything about it since the last one.
Right, yeah.
Last year. It was at E3, I think they announced it, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. After last year's E3, it pretty much hasn't even been on the radar since then. But the interesting thing about the Yoshi game, I believe this is also kind of what happened with Yoshi's Woolly World as well. Like, remember at first it looked more like Kirby's Epic Yarn, and then we didn't hear about it for a while, and then when they redid it again, it looked completely different. I'm wondering if that's going to kind of be the case with this Yoshi game as well.
That was kind of how it was with Woolly World, though. Nobody saw that happening, and then once they brought it back after the screenshots were released, everybody was like, "Whoa, this looks a lot different."
Oh yeah, so I'm wondering if at this year's E3 they're gonna finally give it a proper title and give us a release date for that. Because when I saw it at E3 last year, that was one of the games I was actually most excited about.
Right, yeah. And do we know if it's supposed to release it this year or anything like that?
I believe they did say
think so.
2018. I believe that was the thing on last year's E3 Direct.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I see last year they also had if I remember correctly, they opened up with Rocket League. So
Yes.
I'm thinking that they're probably going to have some kind of large indie game announcement that they're going to try to push at the beginning.
Now, see, the one game I was thinking about that could possibly fit that title would possibly be Fortnite or PUBG.
I thought about Fortnite too. I think that's really likely.
Yeah, honestly,
That's true,
Fortnite
yeah.
Fortnite fits the Nintendo build more than PUBG, to be honest.
And PUBG seems to be having problems running properly in every platform almost. I've heard that the PC version is better than the Xbox One version, but it still has a bit of optimization issues.
I haven't played too much of PUBG, but I've played a little bit of Fortnite. Honestly, I would not mind Fortnite coming to Switch if that was a thing.
Do you guys expect any remakes of games?
Remakes.
Yeah.
Honestly, a remake or a port wouldn't surprise me if they did that in some shape or form as well.
I kind of expect some kind of Wii U port. What exactly, I don't know. I would prefer Zelda
I
Yeah,
think
me
3D
too.
World.
3D World.
If I
Oh,
had to
no.
pick, there's only 2 games I have in mind. If I really had to pick for like a port for the Switch, I was thinking either Mario 3D World or possibly even Wonderful 101.
What?
Wonderful
101 would be
101.
interesting.
Because
Yeah, I wonder how-
a lot of people actually do want the Wonderful 101 to be on the Switch, so I wonder if that might be a possibility. I don't know how it would really work since it relied heavily on the touchpad. Maybe button
Right, yeah.
combinations in order to make that happen, or like some sort, or like draw with the control stick.
I would think that they would need to figure out something with the, like the controls generally, because portably, yeah, that would work out. But when you dock the Switch, then playing Wonderful 101 would, I think you would only be able to use the stick if it goes by the Wii U version.
Right.
So that'd be, I think, a little complicated, but maybe they can. I'm sure they could probably figure it out. 3D World, that do seem more likely, but then they would have to figure out those specific levels where, what was it? You had to touch the screen and it blow into the gamepad.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
I just feel like it's gonna happen because they've ported like every other good Wii U game over.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen what was this game called? Pikmin.
Speaking of Pikmin, that kind of leads to another segment. I wonder if we're gonna, because I know that they said that Pikmin 4 was gonna be in development. I wonder if we might get like a teaser of Pikmin 4 maybe.
In 2015, Miyamoto said that game was basically already done. And then in 2017, he updated it and was like, it's still in progress. We haven't heard anything about that since. So I'm kind of wondering if you got like canned or something on Wii U and moved over to the Switch, or what the deal was there. I'm really not sure.
I think they're holding him off for like emergency.
It's certainly weird though, because I remember reading that exact quote you're talking about, and we haven't seen the game at all. And I hope to God they weren't talking about Hey Pikmin, which I doubt.
Right, I feel like, they've had Pikmin 2, Pikmin 3. I feel like if it's in the general series, they're going to go and call it Pikmin 4 as well. But, like, I don't know about it being, like, one of those showstopper games where, like, sell systems and everything. But, like, as a last resort, I feel like they're bringing out, like, Smash Bros. And, like, Mario Kart and, like, Odyssey, stuff like that. Like, heavy hitters that would actually sell systems. Because I don't see Pikmin 3, or, like, any Pikmin, I guess, as a system seller, I guess.
Yeah, they're definitely good games, but they're definitely not system sellers, like you said. Actually, you mentioned Odyssey, and I wanted to go back to that for a second, just because how likely do you think that there will be DLC for Odyssey?
I'm not honestly sure. I don't even know if I really want Odyssey DLC because it depends on what they would do with it. Like, I think Odyssey is pretty good as it is. Like, I don't know, like adding any extra kingdoms and stuff like that, making it like a kingdom pass or something like that. I don't know if that would sit well with me, honestly.
I think I'd be cool with it. Almost like, Galaxy felt really expensive, but then Odyssey kind of felt not as much, I guess, but like I know they're going for like a Mario 64 vibe kind of thing. And there's not very many levels in retrospect once you think about that. But I didn't feel like there was almost as much to do in Odyssey. Like, I explored, and that was basically all it was. I love the game. I love it so much. But then, like, I sit back and think about how you get these 999 moons. Some of them just take something as simple as ground pounding, and then that's it.
Right? Yeah. I actually fully agree with that. Some of the moons were very simple to get, and as a Zelda fan, if I were to compare Odyssey and possible Odyssey DLC with Breath of the Wild, as a Zelda fan, I was a little iffy about that at first too, but I actually was kind of into the DLC, mostly the second one, the actual story DLC that we got. So for that reason, I'm pretty open to it. I'll actually be positive if I see Odyssey DLC. But like Mike says, it does depend on what it is.
Honestly, I have an interesting idea for Mario Odyssey DLC. What if they ended up doing like a multiplayer mode and they kind of made it like Super Mario 64 DS, where you had 4 people going through levels trying to collect as many stars as possible, or in this case it would be power moons throughout the kingdoms. Like somehow give like 4 different characters like a way to traverse through the entire kingdom, and then somehow see who can collect the most power moons in like a certain amount of time.
That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe have Mario, Luigi playable, have Wario playable, and then maybe have Yoshi or Waluigi as the 4th.
Oh, speaking of that, I think Luigi will be end up being playable.
I think so too. I actually think they might even give Luigi his own world, and that you would play as him in that world.
That'd be a cool idea, like a Luigi's Mansion type world, maybe like a like a haunted kingdom.
Maybe, yeah.
If they do
That's
something
a
like that,
good
then they
idea.
just gotta release like a Luigi's Mansion for Switch because that's too much teasing for me.
Yeah, same.
I felt the same way when they put F-Zero tracks in Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, you guys
Right.
think that there's a possibility we can get F-Zero at E3 this year, maybe?
Yeah.
As much as I played every F-Zero except for I think Maximum Velocity on the GBA, and I would love to see F-Zero, but after what is it like? How long has it been since F-Zero has had a game, which is GX? I don't.
That's like 2003, 2004, I think.
That's like 15 years.
Damn, I just
Like-
that is a long time without an F-Zero game.
Yeah, I don't. I just at this point I don't have any hope for F-Zero.
Not me either. As much as I would love for that to happen, but
I'll say this though: if they announce F-Zero at this E3, next E3, anytime in the future, I'll be excited. I'll be as hype as Metroid
oh no,
fans were for Metroid Prime.
I will definitely get that day one purchase. Speaking of
I-
Metroid Prime 4, though, that is kind of a good segue. I'm sure we're probably going to see at least some sort of gameplay for that, or at least another teaser trailer, maybe showing off, Samus's model and everything next time around.
It's certainly possible, but I want to say that since they're still saying, I think with an investors meeting, they even said that the game's not releasing this year, and it's possible for, I don't know when, but they just haven't said this year. So I'm thinking it's possible that it won't be at this year's E3 at all.
That would be interesting if it's not. So I guess
feel like
if
some people. No, go ahead, Mike.
well, no, actually, Mason, you finish off your thing because I think I had another segue. Yeah, you go first.
I was just gonna say, I think like almost if they didn't show it, people would riot. But at the same time, I feel like their other announcements would almost justify not having Metroid there.
Yeah,
Right.
because the thing is, I'm pretty sure that people were speculating that this year's major title would either be Pokemon or Metroid.
I'm
Or-
thinking.
Animal
go ahead,
Crossing.
Mason. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd actually really like to see Animal Crossings. I know a lot of people have been wanting it, and honestly, what was the name of that app that was on the Wii U that showed off like all the HD textures and everything that looked like it could have been on the Switch? Yeah, that. Honestly, that's enough of a tease in and of itself that they should really be getting a new Animal Crossing game out there. Not that Amiibo Festival thing either.
And then they had like the Mario Kart track.
Yeah.
There's that as well. Like they have the
They have the
HD
assets
model.
in the works. I feel like
Right.
they should have an Animal Crossing this year at E3, if anything.
That'd be nice, especially since I think it's been 5 years since Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds about right. And then with the whole thing with Pocket Camp as well.
Right, yeah. Which kind of reminds me, whatever happened to that Zelda mobile game?
I think
I
that's
think
still
it's
in
gonna be released
development.
in the next fiscal year. I think.
Hopefully it just.
Well, there's
you
Mario
forget
Kart
about
Tour they're
it.
focusing on.
I don't
Wasn't that
even want
like a
I don't even
2019
want
thing?
to. Yeah,
I think that's supposed to be 2019.
honestly, going a little off topic, I'm still very skeptical about Mario Kart Tour. I don't know how I feel about that still. It depends. I still gotta like see gameplay and see how that actually works. See if you gotta pay like $5 for 3 green shells to use on the track and other stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about that. But I don't
Yeah,
know. Do
me
you guys
too.
think that there's a possibility of a new Mario Kart being at E3 this year, or at least like DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, if anything?
I think
No.
DLC is more likely than a new game.
I agree. I think DLC is more likely.
I don't see what they could add. I mean, they
It's
could add
either-
more tracks, maybe.
One of three things could happen. Either they announce DLC, which is like new tracks and like similar to the other DLC we've seen, or they do nothing at all, or they do a whole new Mario Kart game, with new, tracks, characters, a whole new gimmick and everything, like the anti-gravity, something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I don't see that.
Although if Mario Kart was to be announced at E3, like a brand new Mario Kart, I would think that it probably wouldn't be released, or they would probably tease that for like 2019, if anything.
Right, and this whole E3 is only focused on 2018 games.
That's right. Yeah. I
Did
feel
they-
that.
didn't they say that last year that last year's E3 was going to be concentrating more on the games that were coming out in 2018? or like no, what that were coming out in 2017. Yet they still showed off like 2018 titles.
Maybe.
That I think he's right. I think I kind of do vaguely remember them mentioning that last year as well. If that's the case, we might still get a lot of 2018 games and maybe teases for 2019.
Right.
I'm sure there's gonna be at least one tease for 2019 in there.
I imagine they're gonna push Smash as their major, system selling game for the latter half of the year. But they're saying Pokemon Switch might be a this year thing or might be a next year thing.
If it's not this year, I would maybe think that maybe Pokemon will be early next year, if not like late this year.
I highly doubt it's this year. Unless they like have the resources. I don't know. If they were working on it in the past.
I mean, honestly, with just Smash Bros. Alone, I'm okay with that being the major holiday title.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Smash is my most anticipated game now. But
same here.
I just think, like, we all know that the selling potential that Pokemon has. We all know that if Pokemon gets released, whenever it releases, the Switch as well is going to sell a ton.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they'll release two major titles at the same time.
Or on the same.
That's like overkill.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, probably won't.
It depends, because here's my theory. I genuinely think that Smash Bros. Is going to probably come out in September alongside the online service. To be like, hey, here's the first major game that's going to go with the online service.
But the thing with that is, like, they literally can't screw that up. Like, the servers are already going to be packed. If they have some new online thing, they cannot mess it up on day one for that. People will riot if they cannot play Smash Online.
I'll forget about it. I think Smash 4's online service was decent, but they gotta really still up it this time around.
I agree that they can't mess it up, but I feel it's inevitable, to be honest.
Yeah, it's, honestly, it's kind of, Nintendo does that now and then.
Yeah, but even then, like, if you go back to, say, like, more popular online games that aren't on Nintendo, like, let's take a look at Grand Theft Auto Online, right? When that first launched, and that's from, like, more consoles that have kind of like a better understanding of online multiplayer. That game was down for a week when it first started.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Honestly, I also heard that Sea of Thieves from Rareware also kind of had some hiccups too in the first few days of it being launched.
I think what's important is that most likely I think it's inevitable that the first couple of days it's gonna be terrible, but as long as they can iron it out and make it so that it works reliably afterward.
Yeah, as long as they get it working reliably, like both, I can't stress this enough. They have to get Smash Bros. Working reliable both online and local. Because sometimes I'll be playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with my buddies at Switch and Play NYC, and people just get dropped out of the room out of nowhere, like literally disconnects galore whenever we're like trying to play locally.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
They can't mess that up with Smash when that comes to local.
Right, yeah. I feel that the initial impact of the online multiplayer is something that even well-known giant like online corporations fail at, let alone Nintendo. And we all know Nintendo is not exactly the best when it comes to this.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's inevitable that once the online service starts and everyone's trying to play Smash on day one, that it's not going to go well.
Yeah, unless they really get their stuff together, but more than likely they're probably going to have to iron out the bugs for a few days in order to get everything going.
But maybe they have a single player mode.
I mean, I would love, and I did a video about this like not too long ago, but I would love if they brought back Subspace Emissary or something along the lines of Subspace.
All right, yeah. I'm about to pitch my idea then for this. All right, you're gonna get the best of both worlds with this. So, everyone pretty much loved Smash Run on the Smash Bros. Version of, on 3DS and everything. What if they ended up bringing Smash Run back? But instead of having the one generic map, they end up using like the Melee Adventure map styles, like have a Mario Kingdom map or have a Legend of Zelda Temple Maze type map, and freaking combine a whole bunch of them together in like one huge mishmash.
I actually like that idea. That sounds pretty good to me.
All I really want is like a traditional target smash.
Yeah, I want each character to have their own target smash too. Like no more of this only 5 levels type thing. Like, I like the fact that Melee and N64's target test actually tested out your abilities on how to use the characters. It was like a little tutorial.
Right.
What
I
about
haven't.
if
What's that?
the rabbits are characters?
Rabbids. I if they announce Rabbids as a character, I'm not going to be ecstatic about it.
Maybe
Oh,
like
no, honestly,
Mario
I'd be kind
Rabbids?
of upset. Rabbids before Rayman, I'd be pretty sad about that.
Well, it has a game with Nintendo.
I know,
on it.
I'm kind of thinking that too, just a little bit. Like, I could, actually, that's another thing I can easily see them doing at E3, like, legitimately talking about the Mario and Rabbids DLC with Donkey Kong in it, then out of nowhere, Rabbid Peach is just in Smash Brothers.
I would cry.
I mean, that's cool. She could throw rabbits
I would
instead
admit,
of peaches.
I feel like they're more likely to be assist trophies than
At
fighters.
least that, I'd rather have them as assist trophies.
That would
Like,
be
maybe-
cool to see. That
Like
I
maybe
could be
have
down with.
the full like Rabbid Yoshi, Rabbid Luigi, just have all the Rabbid forms just pop up and start causing mayhem on the.
Oh, yeah.
It could be like, Wii Fit Trainer for Smash 4 was kind of the, what the heck kind of character.
I
I
hope
feel
I honestly want Wii Fit Trainer to come back. She was one of my best characters.
Yeah, I just think like Sakurai is gonna do something weird.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I'm also fully.
Before we get into any more characters, sorry to cut you guys off. I have one last mode that I want to like talk about real quick. Oh shit! Well, there goes my alarm. Scratch that. The one last mode I kind of want. Like, do you guys remember the end of Smash Tour on the Wii U version where each fighter that you ended up playing with was one life each?
Yeah.
Like, like one life, like, let's say you have like a team of like Yoshi, Wii Fit Trainer, and Lil Mac. Like, Yoshi dies, then Wii Fit Trainer comes out, and so on. I kind of hope that they make that like a legit mode that you could do like any time in the game, not just for like whatever they end up putting in as like a multiplayer mode.
I would like that, and I also want to ask, like, was I the only one that actually kind of liked Smash Tour? I just think they should change something.
I thought Smash Tour was decent. Like, it wasn't like, for me, it wasn't like a top, like, fantastic, but it wasn't like terrible.
Right. I feel like if they fleshed that out more and maybe made it so that instead of like, how at the end you win by the total amount of KOs you got.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it should be more of a survival thing, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because otherwise, it feels like if it isn't a survival like thing, what is the point of having a lot of fighters on your side? You could just pick your mains, especially, and just kind of go from there.
Nah, basically.
I don't know if you guys saw, but recently they also showed off the invitational guests for Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, those were announced today, weren't they?
Yeah. Or time of recording, anyway.
Oh yeah, at least as of this recording, yeah, they just pretty much announced it.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of an interesting list. I heard it's like mostly Smash 4 players and Melee professionals. I want to say, like all the like a lot of the big names that like go to the big tournaments and all that stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant the ones who worked on Melee back in the day.
Oh no, like all the main people in the competitive scene pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you got MK Leo, you got Zero, Armada, Abadango, Plup, Mr. R, Lucky, Mango, and yeah, other apparently there's also going to be other exhibition masks with other invited guests.
I'm sure those invited guests are going to be like
YouTubers or Twitch streamers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sakurai.
And Sakurai, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's definitely going to happen. It's interesting, and I believe like it's open for people who are going to E3.
What about like a demo for Smash, like to test out the servers?
Oh,
you mean like kind of like what they're? Well, before I get into that, like you're thinking about like a whole like Smash Brothers like demo, like a test Smash, kind of like what Mario Tennis Aces is going to be doing. Before that, with the whole testing tournament thing before it comes out.
Yeah.
That would actually be a really good idea. Maybe like, I remember the demo only having like 3 characters playable, like Mario, Mega Man at the time, and Villager from Animal Crossing. I wouldn't mind if they did something like that again.
I mean, they could kind of do because I remember the 3DS version had a little like demo that select people got in. Maybe they'll do something like that again as well.
That would be nice.
I think
one
it'd be
thing
better.
I didn't like about that demo though is that all the characters were locked except for a few, and it was like a really big tease.
Yeah, I remember primarily playing Mega Man in that demo, despite me not touching him for the most part when the game fully came out.
Oh yeah, I was mainly touching Mario, like getting used to his moveset again.
You know, people still argue to this day, especially after the Invitational guys got announced, that because they used Xander Mobus's announcements from Smash 4, that some people believe that is a reason that it might still be a port.
Well, no,
How do you
they
guys
have, they
feel
have,
about
to, they have to. Honestly, in terms of that, they just have to have fill-in footage. It's not like they could record the Invitational like now. That's
the
pretty,
thing, because
That's
how
the
I was.
thing. How else would they gonna promote it? Just like have blank text on the screen? They gotta like show off that it's gonna be hype. That's pretty much
Right,
their way
yeah.
of hyping it up by showing off how it was the last time that was a thing. I think Sakurai even pretty much confirmed that he's been working on the game for like the last 2 years and that's not a port. I'm pretty sure I'm sure Sakurai confirmed it himself with one interview, and I'm pretty sure at the investors meeting they also reconfirmed that it's a brand new game. It's not a port.
I don't know if they've confirmed it. The only thing I've heard was that Sakurai said he was working on it, and that they're just calling it Super Smash Bros. Like they didn't really say much about it. From what I
We're gonna more than likely get like a finalized title at E3 though.
Probably. Anyone else hoping they don't call it Super Smash Bros. For Switch?
I'm really hoping that. I'd really rather not have it called that.
I think it's gonna be a whole new thing. Like they had the logo for Super Smash Bros. And the Nintendo Direct reveal. It was like a whole new logo. Like it wasn't like anything that we've seen.
That
from, like,
also
Wii U or
points
3DS.
more towards a new game rather than a port.
And the trailer had new music.
Oh yeah,
That's
because
true.
I think Game Explain dissected that too and was like, oh yeah, it's a brand new theme. This is basically what it's supposed to sound like. They tried their best to recreate it.
I think there was a good amount of fans that did their best to recreate it too.
But yeah, I don't think Sakurai would just make a port for the Switch though. I think Sakurai. I have a theory about that because I know that Iwata and Sakurai were good friends, and I know that Iwata was really hoping the Switch was going to be a good thing. So I think before Iwata passed away, I think he went to Sakurai and was like, "Hey, you might want to start working on the new Smash Bros. Now for the Switch. That way you can go all out with it." And you know, I think Sakurai is going to go all out as a final tribute to Iwata.
Another reason I think it's like a new thing is because if they didn't confirm it was a new game, or like if they didn't say it was a port, so everybody's expecting it to be a new game. So if it gets announced and it is a port, people will riot. They don't want that.
Nah, I agree with that.
I agree. I also feel that if it was a port, they wouldn't tease a port. They would just fully show it off like they have with every other port they've announced so far.
Yeah, pretty much. Not only that, though, they wouldn't even be having an invitational of this like kind of caliber if they weren't trying to hype up something new. I mean, hell, they're breaking out all the big guns, inviting all these competitive players to do all this.
They wouldn't tease the game. They wouldn't hold an invitational, and they wouldn't focus their entire E3 presence on this one game if it was a port of something that everyone already played.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
I mean, I've been known that, but...
Yeah. Sadly, I mean, there's still people that believe it's a port. I guess some people just want the definite proof that it is a new game, but it just seems like everything's pointing in that direction.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, though, my ideal Smash 5 game would just be, like, the game, like, having it... You know, honestly, I thought the physics and everything were good in Smash 4. Just give us that, and then just give us all a bunch of new characters and, like, have a more fleshed out, like, single-player campaign, kind of like Subspace Emissary. Honestly, I wasn't too fond of the classic mode either in the Wii U version. I kind of like the way that the 3DS did the classic mode.
I like the original way. Like, I don't like the paths or like.
Well, no, honestly, Mason, I would agree with you. Like, you're thinking more towards Melee N64 type with like race to the finish, board the platforms, all that stuff, like Kirby Team, Yoshi Team. I kind of want to see that. That's ideally what I would want. But if I had to pick between the two current versions to go with, the 3DS was kind of closer to that.
Right.
I wasn't a fan of the whole moving across the board like a pawn type thing.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I don't know.
It felt like a party game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there really was no point to it because all that really was choosing a path. They just, for some reason, made you have to move a chess piece essentially to go there. Like, it didn't really make any sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
I would like if they kept the what's it called, the Crazy Orders mode.
The Crazy Orders mode was a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's certain single player modes that I would like to see in Smash 5 that was in Smash 4. But classic mode should probably go back to the way it was, and I do want something like Subspace because I don't know.
Let's be honest. The subspace was pretty hyped though, seeing all the characters interact together in the cutscenes.
Right, yeah, and I actually had fun playing it, and it only was not. I don't know how long ago. I want to say a couple years ago that I actually fully went online and found out that people didn't like it.
What?
Well, I heard that Sakurai didn't want to do the cutscenes anymore because people leaked them.
Yeah, well, no, apparently it's because people posted it to YouTube, and I don't think that makes sense.
I think it's like people's choice if they want to watch it or not. So like, why is he taking the blame? Like, if he's just gonna ruin it for everybody else by not having something similar to that, it was their choice to watch the video in the first place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen.
It is.
Yeah, it's going to. Every game's cutscenes are going to be watched on YouTube. It's inevitable, but
Yeah.
I still think that's one of the stupidest reasons to remove.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's so petty.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. That just seems like the stupidest reason to do it. But speaking of Smash, I think all of us have characters that we'd like to see in the game.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to get into that topic.
Yeah, so and I'm also pretty sure this might take a little while just to explain their case on why they want those characters. So
Well,
I
want to hear what you guys have to say because I have a pretty big list.
You have a whole scroll ready to
Yeah, just
read
about.
all of it. Okay, all right. So who wants to start off?
I guess I will.
All right.
I want everybody from the other game. New Fire Emblem characters. I mean, I don't know anyone in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I thinking about? Nah, I'm good. I'm simple. Oh, Breath of the Wild Link.
Oh yeah, I'm wondering how that's going to work too between the whole Breath of the Wild link and how Mario was silhouetted in the Inklings trailer as well. I'm wondering if that's going to be like a whole new moveset or what the case is with that.
I kind of think it will be. Like, they'll have all of his, like, Sheikah Slate abilities within his moveset.
That'd be awesome. But as for Mario, I wonder if he is going to have Cappy and that's going to replace if it's going to replace the Flood.
Probably.
Someone ended up making a really funny tweet on Twitter saying it'd be funny if Mario could take over any character in the game and then every Smash character has the hat and mustache.
I mean, I think that would look pretty funny, but I also think that would be kind of broken.
That would be really annoying.
Also, Mandy, going back to what you said about wanting Fire Emblem characters in the game, I wouldn't mind Fire Emblem characters being in the game, maybe just not as many as Smash 4, or at least if they do go back to that many amount of characters, maybe give some of them different weapons. Like, one of my friends was telling me that Ike should maybe use an axe instead of his sword. That would like change things up a little bit, or maybe have someone with the lance instead of like all the swordsmen. Like have some like weapon variety, because I think Corrin and Robin were very interesting characters. Like other than that, though, most of them are just swordsmen. Hell, Marth and Lucina, both of them are pretty much the same. The only difference is that one's more balanced and Marth just has the tip.
Right.
I don't really want to see. I like the Fire Emblem cast. I just kind of don't want to see any of the Fire Emblem characters like be clones.
In terms of Fire Emblem, I think, and there's probably going to be like people who would kill me for saying this, but I think they can just cut Lucina and Roy.
Oh my god!
Yeah. No, honestly, I really don't even. Honestly, Roy's my boy. I like Roy. And as for Lucina, I think Lucina can stay as a Marth. Honestly.
No.
I mean,
she's my main character.
I mean, if Lucina was unique moveset wise, I'd be fine with her. And Roy, he's slightly different, but he's still mostly kind of Marth-ish.
I kind of agree with you on that, Shifty, sadly.
The thing is with Marth is that Marth is kind of the poster boy of Fire Emblem. He's the main character for like the
become
beginning.
Lucina. What?
Like they could have made Lucina have a different moveset, but because she's exactly like Marth just without a tip, it's a
little frustrating to see.
Yeah, I mean, clone characters don't take away from development. They're just little extras essentially.
No, that's what Sakurai pretty much said. Like,
right, yeah. So I don't mind clone characters all that much. It's just with Fire Emblem, they do it too much with Marth. I think
Oh yeah.
I would not mind if Ike stayed. Although I do think Ike maybe his moveset could change a bit, but I do think he should stay with his sword because he's kind of, if you played Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, that's kind of his blade, like his personal legendary blade. Like
Oh, yeah,
Ragnar
that's
is
true.
his thing.
So is Lucina. I mean,
I mean,
think
yeah,
if they
but-
change like anybody, it would have to be like everybody else, and like instead of Ike, because I feel like out of all like 7 Fire Emblem characters, he's the most unique out of all of them. Him or Robin.
I would say Robin personally, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, I
It's
can agree.
that-
I can see that too.
I could see personally. I would say Marv can like he could pretty much stay since he's like the poster boy and all that. I could change a bit, but not too. I wouldn't want him to have a different weapon. Now, if we wanted someone with different like an axe or a lance, axe wise, I would say maybe Hector.
All
why
right, not a
would you
bad
have
choice.
Hector and not Lucina?
Because you know what? Because Lucina is Marv and Hector's not Marth.
Yeah, but you could change up Lucina's set
I mean, if they change the moveset, I'll be fine with it.
and
But-
like
It's just kind of if they
kind of
keep her
like
exactly the same.
a girl version of Mark. Like there was a female version of Corn.
If that's the case, then we should probably have Lucina as like an alternate then.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, to be honest.
I mean, that's better than
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to see Lucina cut either. I think Lucina would be good as a Marth alt. I think it would be fine.
Make her an alt or change her moveset, and I'll be okay with her. That's what I would say.
Same. Mason, what about you? Who do you want to see in Smash 5?
My top picks right now would be like Captain Toad. I think it'd be really cool since he can't jump. He could use like Wingo's like recovery and stuff. Another big one.
All right. People have been all right, Mason. I'm about to have a quick debate with you on that because a lot of people have been telling me that Captain Toad would be a good character for Smash, but how is he supposed to move with the heavy backpack on his back? Like, I mean, I know Game Explained ended up saying something about like a possibility of like being able to throw stuff out of his backpack to make him lighter and make him more mobile. I don't know. Do you guys think that would actually make for a good moveset for Captain Toad?
I mean,
I think it'd be interesting.
I don't think that's stopping him because that's a
Like-
video game, so they could like play around with it.
The thing is, I feel like almost, Sakurai's made a moveset for like a Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah.
Or like Pac-Man, Like, I feel like it would be easy for him to come up with one, if any, at all.
I mean, especially if they instead of Waluigi, like they could actually like let Toad like have access to all the spin-off like games like movesets.
Right. And
What
like,
if they like stuff the
See,
character in his bag?
if Captain Toad was in the game, I wouldn't mind him being a mix of like regular Toad and Captain Toad, like
Right.
being able to like have access to, like some of the side spin-off type games.
or maybe like, how Captain Toad is like his final smash or something, and get the pickaxe out and stuff.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But then
I'll-
also, go ahead, Shifty.
No, I was just gonna say that I'm pretty indifferent to Captain Toad. Like, I wouldn't mind him, but I wouldn't be excited either. I'm somewhere in the middle about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same about that.
Yeah.
I was always on board for Inklings, but that's already confirmed now, so that's awesome. But then Crash and Spyro, those were rumored,
Oh God!
but I think they would be really cool to see.
Oh, don't even get me started. You know how badly I want Crash Bandicoot in there? Forget about it. Crash Bandicoot, I grew up with Crash Bandicoot, like, back when he was talking smack in front of Nintendo's headquarters, back when they were advertising the original game on the PS1. Crash Bandicoot is my top pick for E3 this year that I want them to announce. I don't know if I'd be, I don't know how okay I'd be with them announcing both Crash and Spyro at E3, because I heard that was a rumor. But I'm pretty sure they confirmed that was I'm sure the leaker actually confirmed that was actually a false rumor. But Crash Bandicoot would be a fantastic choice. Like, between his spin move, being able to like have the ability to slide, maybe throw Wumpa Fruit, have the access to Aku Aku as his final smash. Forget about it. Like, Crash Bandicoot is one of the best top picks for me.
But that looks weird. Like, he looks out of place.
No, he does
Like,
not.
He's from Sony. Like, he was talking trash.
No.
So was Cloud.
He
So
was
is-
from Sony, and now he's gonna be on Switch in July 10th, I think. So
Yeah, but I'm like, isn't that kind of a stretch?
Maybe
He's
to an
gonna
extent.
look like an oddball.
No, he wouldn't. Honestly,
I would argue.
I would
I
actually
mean-
argue like Ryu and Cloud and Bayonetta are oddballs compared to Crash Bandicoot. Like Crash
No.
Bandicoot has a lot of history. Like just for that
Crash-
alone, I think he's got enough of a merit to be in Smash 5.
I mean, I would say personally, I wouldn't think. I personally don't think he'd be out of place, but in the sense that, does Sakurai care about Western characters?
That is a good question. I honestly don't even know.
Because he'd be, if Crash got in, he'd be the only Western like originated character.
Huh? That's interesting.
That'd be cool.
That'd be
Like
a first.
he'd be a first in that regard. That's kind of the one thing that's making me think it's kind of unlikely, because I don't know if Sakurai pays attention to Western games like that. Maybe he does, and I'm just not aware. But
Well, yeah.
it's
It's
possible.
Most of his sales.
Well, I mean, don't forget Crash Bandicoot's also a thing in Japan as well. Maybe they'd use his Japan model. It's a little odd. It's a little different in the eyes shape, but other than that, it's still basically the same.
I mean, I'm not too. My history with Crash is basically non-existent. I really haven't played any Crash game. Period.
I'm telling you, get the Insane Trilogy. That is like the best way to play the original 3 Crash games.
It is.
I intend on to.
Nah, especially Crash Bandicoot 2. Crash Bandicoot 2 is like pure perfection in terms of platforming for me. Like just between the wakeboarding levels. Honestly, I could already see what stage they would use too. They would use the final boss from the original Crash Bandicoot with Cortex shooting at the stage. That would just be the ideal stage. Either that or Hang 8 maybe.
I mean, I intend on playing both Crash and Spyro whenever they release. Well, Crash is already out on PS4, but you know what I mean.
Well, see, that's the thing with me. I never really grew up with Spyro, funny enough. I actually grew up with only Crash Bandicoot. I never played the Spyro games. So the Spyro trilogy is actually probably going to be my first dive into Spyro myself.
Interesting. But Mason, did you have any other characters? Because it sounded like you had more than that.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I've thought here and there, like, oh, cool to see or something, but then, you know, they eventually end up being like palette swap characters like Toadette or something stupid like that. You know, Waluigi, I think it's time for him to kind of come out of the assist trophy phase and be playable. I think that'd be interesting. You know, I don't know. They have Wario, they have Mario Luigi. He's the only one playable right now.
Well, see, that just goes back to the whole Captain Toad thing. Like, if Captain Toad ends up, if Toad ends up getting into the game, I wonder if, like, they would have I guess Captain Toad would make a more Captain Toad specific moveset, and then if Waluigi got in, maybe he'd be the one using, like, the spin-off games.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But I would personally, I would want Waluigi over Captain Toad.
Same here. Although there's one character I think that beats them both, in my opinion, that if we really gotta get another Mario rep. Even though I think Mario would be alright without any new reps this time around.
Right. And who are you thinking of?
My personal choice, this is kind of out of left field, but if they could come up with a moveset for freaking Duck Hunt Dog and Wii Fit Trainer, I think Paper Mario would actually be a legitimate choice.
I've heard a lot of people mention Paper Mario.
Like, you could make his recovery like the paper airplane. Maybe you somehow use his partners from the original 2 games. He could have his hammer, he could jump. And then for his final smash, I guess maybe either he could, like... I guess for his final smash, as much as I don't really like Sticker Star and Color Splash as much, they could probably use, like, one of the real-world objects as one of his final smash, like the giant fan or something like that, if I really had to pick something.
Right. I mean, I feel like Nintendo would kind of still represent those games, even if people don't want them to.
Oh, yeah. But I think Paper Mario would be, like, the most creative, like, Mario rep that they could come up with. And it'd be a good excuse for a new Paper Mario game on the Switch, too.
It's a sad confession, but back in the Melee days, I used to think he was unlockable. I played a home run contest for like 3 days straight, like off and on during sleep, of course, trying to get like a certain amount of feet hit because I thought he was unlockable that way.
I also tried to beat Cruel Melee, trying to get 20 kills just to get friggin' Sonic and Tails, too. So you're not alone on that.
The rumors back then were just...
Yep. Hell, now we
crazy.
actually do have Sonic in the game, though, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, a lot of the characters that are in Smash these days don't seem like they would have been possible a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hell, anything is possible at this rate ever since Cloud was announced.
I would say, yeah.
Between Cloud, Bayonetta, and Ryu, pretty much almost anything is the limit now, to be honest.
I would say for me, Cloud is the most unlikely one, just because of where he came from initially.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I would say that personally, characters I want to see in Smash, I think some of them, because me, Mike, and Mandy have, I think we've talked about this once before. I'm not sure, but I want Travis Touchdown. I've mentioned him a lot of times.
Travis, I heard a lot of people want Travis. I wouldn't mind Travis being a character either. He looks pretty cool. I never played his games, but I'd be alright with that.
Right, I think I've mentioned him too much at this point. I think on my channel, this is like I want to say the 4th, 5th time I've mentioned him.
Mm.
Like, it's definitely getting a little bit borderline obsessive. But yeah, I would like to see Travis. I would like to see Isaac from Golden Sun as well.
I feel like Isaac kind of deserves to be in the game at this point. He's been an assist trophy for like 2 games now. I think he deserves to switch over to playable character status.
He actually got removed as an assist trophy in Wii U.
Wait, did he? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he was only an assist trophy in Brawl, and then they removed him entirely in.
Right. Wow, it's been a while since I played Smash Wii U. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's not in there at all. The only thing Golden Sun related they have in there, I believe, is
the music.
A single. Yeah, it's
One
a single
track.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a crime as far as I'm concerned. Oh man, but yeah, I want to. Those are the 2 I want the most, to be honest. But like a lot of the other characters that I would like to see, I want to see another what do you call it, F-Zero representative.
All right, well, who do you think would actually be a good F-Zero representative? Because I never actually thought about that. You think Samurai Goro would be a good choice? Or honestly, I don't even know about Samurai Goro. I feel like that'd be too many swordsmen.
I would prefer Black Shadow.
Black Shadow would be nice, too, because I love his vehicle. His vehicle's like my favorite in the F-Zero series.
Right, yeah, and so I actually have a very specific wish, and I know it's not going to happen, but I actually mentioned this in a video that I'm going to release, I think, next week, actually. So I guess consider this a
preview.
A preview, yeah. But basically, I've always wanted it so that you know how Ganondorf has the moveset he has now,
Oh, yeah.
and nobody wants that for him.
Right?
So what I was thinking is, what if they put in Black Shadow and gave the moveset that Ganondorf currently has to Black Shadow, so that way the 2 F-Zero characters have a similar fighting style.
That
but
would
give
be,
Ganondorf.
That is a genius idea, and then let Ganondorf have his swords, or like something from like
Right.
Hyrule Warriors or something.
Right, yeah. So that way Ganondorf could be represented properly.
Yeah,
But-
seriously, that's actually not a bad idea at all.
Right. That's my wish. I would love that they did that, because I don't have a problem with characters playing similarly to other characters, like Falco to Fox or Luigi to Mario. Like, I don't
Or
have
Ness
a
and
problem with that at
Lucas.
all. Right, exactly. don't have a problem with
I
that.
can't stand Ness, but I love Lucas.
Right, yeah, and I think it makes sense when they belong to the same series, because it makes that franchise feel like they have their own unique fighting style.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could totally agree with that. That would be a great idea, honestly.
Yeah, so that's something I would love to see, but I also don't know how people would feel about having a new character come in and adopt essentially a clone moveset, as some people call it.
Yeah, I'd be alright with that. I mean, I think most people would be alright with it too if Ganondorf got proper representation, I feel.
I do want Ice Climbers back.
Same here. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like Ice Climbers got screwed over in the last game just because of the whole freaking 3DS limitations. I'm thankful that we're not dealing with that again this time around.
Right.
Exactly right.
Honestly, it made me hate the 3DS version of Smash just specifically for that reason. Also, I
But you
kind of
know-
want Wolf to come back too because I thought he was unique enough.
He's the one. Yeah, I would say he's the one character I want to come back more than any other character. Like I could be, if I got Wolf and not Ice Climbers, I'd be content.
Not same here. But I feel like Ice Climbers was a really good representation of the NES era too now.
I
And
mean, I think
that
they're
was just,
guaranteed.
I don't know if I'd say guaranteed because Sakurai felt kind of indifferent about him. It depends. If they bring back 8-player Smash, are they really going to be able to handle 16 Ice Climbers on the field at once?
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm gonna.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I'd be kind of worried about. But other than that, yeah, you're pretty much right on that.
I'm gonna say that I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to hardware and what they're like capable of doing, but I'm gonna say that yeah, the Switch will be able to handle that primarily because the 3DS was the bottleneck. The 3DS was the reason why we couldn't get ice climbers in it. If they couldn't have 4 ice climbers all like fighting each other on the 3DS, but they never mentioned the Wii U ever being a bottleneck in that regard.
So yeah, I guess so. So yeah, I guess Ice Climbers have a good chance of coming back. I'd say then.
How
Yeah.
big was Ice Climbers? Like,
They were in Melee and they were in Brawl. I felt like at this point they were
Yeah.
kind of a staple.
but they
Same.
weren't that like powerful. Or like I didn't see them as like they couldn't make it on the 3DS one. It's just 2 Ice Climbers, and you have the
There's Nana and Popo.
yeah.
I feel that I know you disagree, Mike, but I don't know. I feel like Sakurai is gonna put them in, and they're gonna be pretty much like guaranteed at this point. Just
Oh yeah,
because
if
we know
that's,
for a fact that-
I hope you're right on that. I don't mind them being back at all. I'm just
Gonna be-
iffy.
Okay,
I
roster.
would not mind that. I'd be more than okay with that happening.
So I wanted to go into what do you guys think is like who do you guys think is possibly going to get cut? Now I'm not saying who you want to get cut, just like your
Oh, hold on,
prediction
wait a
when we
minute.
start looking at the list of
I
it.
still have my big list of characters I gotta talk about real quick.
Right,
I'm
right.
gonna make this quick though. I think Kirby needs a 4th representative though. Like 1 or 2 or 3 choices I kind of had in mind was either Bandana Waddle Dee, or maybe either Rick. You know how they did in Kirby Star Allies, Rick, Kind, and Koo, the animal buddies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that like being a thing in Smash, or maybe even Marks. Because I think Bandana
Okay.
Waddle Dee's become like a staple. Because even in like the Super Nintendo, like Kirby's Superstar with the whole the freaking Rock Smash tournament thing where you like time it to press the button to smash the earth. Bandana Waddle Dee's been a character since then. Not only that though, Marks is like one of the most popular villains, and then Rick, Kind, and Koo, they were really awesome animal buddies in Kirby Star Allies, and even in the Dreamland series. I don't know. I feel like they'd be some really like unique like characters to put in. And then we already talked about Ice Climbers, Wolf, and Paper Mario. The only other person I didn't mention from the Nintendo side of things, I wouldn't mind seeing another representative from Kid Icarus, specifically Phosphora. I kind of want to see Phosphora from Kid Icarus because I know that she was an assist trophy at Smash Wii U. She seems like she would be a pretty solid choice for Kid Icarus representative. That's not Dark Pit.
I think they will need to make another game for Kid Icarus because not a lot of people are gonna know. Who
Yeah,
that
I was
is.
kind of thinking that too, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be a bad idea to see Kid Icarus get some more reps.
I like the
Some more
idea.
games.
Yeah, I agree. I want a sequel for Uprising.
Same here,
But,
or either that, or even if they put like a port of Kid Icarus Uprising on the Switch. Because honestly, I couldn't play the 3DS version because of my hand and everything. Like the controls were too difficult for me to figure out my messed up hand and everything.
Well, I would say that in terms of Kid Icarus, if I was gonna get another representative, I would put in Hades.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying either Hades or Viridi also.
Wait,
Yeah.
talking about that, how about the Kingdom Hearts characters?
Oh, Sora.
A lot of people want Sora, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Sora. But that depends. They'd have to announce Kingdom Hearts first for the Switch. But
I mean,
I doubt that.
oh yeah, but now there's only a few third-party characters I'd honestly want to see besides Crash Bandicoot that I think actually have a very solid chance of making it. The only other 4 characters I could think of besides Crash Bandicoot is either Bomberman because of Super Bomberman or Konami being on the Switch. I wouldn't mind seeing Bomberman since Bomberman's been like 12 different Nintendo systems before. I think Bomberman has a pretty solid history with Nintendo. Banjo-Kazooie, just because I freaking love that game to death, and Phil Spencer already actually said that it would be possible. And one of my friends was telling me, apparently there's a rumor that Microsoft and Nintendo are possibly going to be collabing at E3 this year too. I don't know how, I'm not really going to believe that until I see it, but if that was a thing, I honestly would love to see Banjo-Kazooie be a thing. And just because what people have also speculated for their moveset, what it would look like. But other than that, I think 2 other very solid indie choices would either be Shantae or Shovel Knight. I think those would all be like really good third-party choices, in my opinion, for me at least.
Right.
I think those are like a lot of characters.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of characters, but I don't think I'm assuming that you don't expect all of them.
Oh no, not even close. I'd be lucky if one of them even gets in, to be honest.
Right. I would say I'm not too sure about how I feel about indie characters in Smash. Not that I don't support it, but I'm not sure how Nintendo looks at it.
I don't know. It feels like Nintendo's been kind of more or less supporting the indie scene a little bit more these days. I mean,
It's true, they have.
Shantae, you can kind of give the argument that she used to be on the Game Boy Color back in the day. And Shovel Knight already has his own amiibo, so I feel like those are the only two indie characters that I could definitely see having a solid chance. Other than that, though, I don't think I'd be okay with indie representatives being in Smash Brothers.
Uh-huh. I don't know. I feel like even if they have an amiibo, it doesn't really
I
mean
know
much to-
it doesn't guarantee anything, but I feel like that just means I feel like they got a good representation, and a good relationship with Yacht Club games. So I feel like Shovel Knight would be a pretty good choice.
It's possible. I'm just not. I don't know. I guess you could say I'm pessimistic on the chances of like indie characters. Personally.
I won't cry if they won't. I won't cry if they don't get it. I just think they'd be cool. I think they'd be cool choices.
All right. So, is that all the characters you have, Mike?
Yeah. That's it. Now I got it out of my system.
Okay. Well, with that being said, now I was bringing up earlier, and I want to get back to that. What characters are you afraid might get cut? Because I could see that. We already talked about that.
I think at this point, Smash is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And for the most part, they've kept really, really strong with the roster. Like, they've kept it very consistent, plus some over the years,
Right.
If they cut anybody, maybe duplicate characters, or make them into like a duplicate skin kind of thing, like Dr. Mario, Martha, Lucina kind of thing.
I'd be okay with that, honestly.
But other than that, I don't really...
Clean it up.
Yeah, I don't see them cutting like that many people.
Right.
There's only one representative from Smash Bros. Wii U that I am desperately afraid of them cutting, and that is Wii Fit Trainer. I really love Wii Fit Trainer a lot. I think she was a fantastic representation of the Wii era. Yeah, she was a joke character, but damn, she had a really nice moveset. Like, everyone else, though, are pretty much legacy characters for me. I'm not really too worried about characters like Mario, Yoshi, Bowser, Meta Knight being cut. Wii Fit Trainer is pretty much the only person I'm worried about being cut. Lil Mac is the only other person I think I'd be kind of worried about, but Lil Mac is a great representation of the NES era, so I'm honestly not too worried about Lil Mac being cut. It's mainly Wii Fit Trainer is my only concern right now.
The way I look at it, I feel that characters, newcomers that kind of represent their own franchise, are unlikely to be cut, because the only time they've ever done that before is because of some kind of background reason, like whether or not they're third party, or with Ice Climbers' case, because of limitations. So I feel like characters like Little Mac, Shulk, like I'm thinking they're good to go. Like, they're not gonna get cut. They're gonna be safe.
That's pretty much like Wii Fit Trainer, Villager, all the newcomers from Smash Wii U. You think they're pretty much safe to stay?
I think all the newcomers that are like they single on they're on their own and they represent their franchise, I think they're safe.
Awesome.
The only ones that I think that may have some problems are the clones and like the extras that kind of go along with other franchises that are already well represented.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something to worry about.
Because was it in the past? Who have they cut? They've cut Young Link. They've cut Wolf. Right.
And then Pichu.
Exactly, Pichu, and they and Pokemon Trainer.
Oh yeah.
And they're all from other franchises that are already well represented, so it's possible that we may see something like that again, maybe. But I just want Wolf back, and I'm thinking if anyone gets cut, maybe a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Greninja might get cut.
Originally, I thought Lucario was gonna get cut.
But I thought that
Lucario
too, but yeah,
get...
we got proven wrong on that.
Right, exactly.
I don't think Mewtwo's gonna get cut. I think too many people want Mewtwo to be a thing now that he's back.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I feel like the DLC characters may get treated a little differently than the main cast.
Yeah, honestly, that's one last question I want to get into though, really quickly. Out of all the third-party characters from Smash Wii U, who do you think will make it back, and who do you think ought to get cut? Like, for me personally, I think Pac-Man, Mega Man, and Sonic all at least ought to come back.
I agree.
Like if those three don't, if those three don't come back, that'll be a crime.
I'll be shocked if Mega Man does not come back after the Legacy Collection, after the X Collection, and Mega Man 11 all coming to Switch. I feel that it would be weird timing to have Smash come out and not have Mega Man also in it.
I think if I had to worry about any of those three characters being cut, I'd have to kind of worry about Pac-Man.
I guess it depends on whether or not Namco Bandai is helping with development again.
Yeah, that is also very true.
If we get a confirmation that they're helping again, then I'm going to look at Pac-Man as a guarantee. I'm going to be confident with him being in it. If
Yeah,
not,
that's fair
then
enough.
right. If not, then I think it depends on that. When it comes to the other third parties, I'm unsure about Cloud. I think Bayonetta is safe, as much as competitive players might hate it.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Gunlegs McGee, but yeah, she's probably gonna stay.
I mean,
Especially with Bayonetta 3 coming out, I'm pretty sure she's guaranteed at this point.
Right, and I think that I would miss Bayonetta not being in the game if she got cut, but
I just hope
do
they nerf
agree.
her.
They could do what they did with Meta Knight and Brawl, where in Brawl he was amazing, and then 4 he's good, but he's not like broken.
Well, yeah.
So they could figure something out and make her just not as bad.
What
That's what
about
I
Ryu? You think he has a shot with the Street Fighter Legacy Collection coming as well?
I think he has more of a shot than Cloud does,
That's fair enough.
but he's a 50-50 thing for me. I don't know. I have no idea. I would love to see him come back though, just because his playstyle rewards like the traditional knowing the button inputs.
That was a really cool like gimmick. The fact that like if you put in the actual Street Fighter commands, you had a more powerful version of the move.
Right, yeah. And I had a friend of mine who was pretty good with Ryu, and it would be very annoying when he caught you in like a stun lock and just gave you the Shoryuken. The full input and everything. It was like an instant kill at like certain percentages. But yeah, it'd be great. I would love all that, to be honest.
Same here.
But I think that's it. I don't really expect a lot of characters to be cut because they only ever cut like maybe 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The only other wish list item that I kind of hope for in terms of Smash 5, I hope we just have more online tournament customization options, like being able to make our own 1v1 tournaments and not having to join a bracket in order to do that. That was the one last thing I forgot to mention.
They just need like a normal tournament mode. Don't make a tournament mode like how they had it in 4. Just make a tournament mode that
I honestly wouldn't mind the tournament mode like how 4 did it, but also give us the option to make those other tournaments like you said as well.
I mean, if they give you the option, then yeah, it would be fine. But if it gave us only that one, I'm never going to use it.
Well, yeah.
But I think that's basically it. I think, unless everyone else has a something they want to add into it.
No, I'm good.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
about.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I guess that's the end for this. I guess you would call it episode, essentially, of the Nintendo Bitcast. All right. So I guess if anything, whoever's listening, if you ever get this far, that's fantastic. If
Well, thank you for listening, by the way. Thank you for tuning in.
Exactly. And let us know who you want for Smash and what you think about E3 and what's going on.
Definitely let us know in the comment section down below, all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to follow everyone as well down in the description. Shifty, MasonOfDelfino, of course, MandyLee, myself. All of our links will be in the description down below as well.
Make sure to check out Mason. He's a cool dude.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us, by the way, Mason, as our special guest this time around.
Thank you.
But yeah, until the next podcast, guys, definitely take care of yourselves.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
See ya.